There's a new series on USA premiering next Tuesday, November 15th at 10 Eastern on USA. It's called Shooter, and the man who plays said shooter is Ryan Phillippe here on the program. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm doing well, man.
I
Very well.
love having you here. You play Bobby Lee Swagger, an expert marksman living in exile. That sounds a little bit like Carson Wentz. Just a little bit. But then there's the whole coax back into action after learning a plot to kill the president, and now there's no Carson Wentz in that conversation.
Yeah, well, then let's hope he bounces back as well.
Well, look, I mean, I know you were hoping that for a Dak Prescott-like trajectory.
Well, we had it for the first 3 games. We were on top of the, we just thought it was, I was thinking that was the rest of our season,
Right. But he's still, you can tell, though, the light's on.
Absolutely.
The light is on, and North Dakota State has sent a top-notch grade A prospect
Absolutely.
to the next level here.
He just needs some other guys around him, I think, with the line being so banged up, and we need somebody that can stretch the field. It's just we don't have the receivers right now. We have the most drops in the league. That's got to be tough for a rookie quarterback. Lines banged up. Losing Lane Johnson was brutal. But I love Peterson. I love Jim Schwartz. I think we're finally getting back to a defense that resembles a Jim Johnson defense,
yes.
Like tough and nasty. And so I think we're 1 or 2 players away from making a real run.
Ryan Phillippe here on Fanatics Fan Day here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, here's a reminder. There's a $250 gift card that you can get every single Monday. We give it out. You send a picture to richeisenshow.com. And it's a picture of you in your fan gear. It's a picture of you showing what you love about sports and your team. And we give out a $250 gift card to whoever we approve of that. Do you have a jersey, an Eagles jersey at home? Do you got one?
I do. Most of mine are from ex-players like Shady. Like I have a LaShawn McCoy, I have a Deshaun Jackson. Got to be nice to have them on this squad. Thanks, Chip Kelly. But I just bought my son a Carson Wentz for his 13th birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Which I think, his 13th birthday was the day we beat the Vikings, the last undefeated team. And I think I'm gonna close out the season there for us.
Well, it's interesting. Wentz, I do believe, has the second most sold jersey since April.
Yeah. Well, because we're a passionate fan base. However disappointed we end up, we're a very passionate fan base.
I just heard. I love the Chip Kelly angst that you still have.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I think a lot of us do. I
don't know.
Hey, let me ask you this: when's the last time the Oakland Raiders were in a top 5 power ranking?
Last week I put them there, but I see where you're going on that.
It's kind of exciting. Like I'm enjoying watching that young team. Really?
Yeah, me too. I do like them. They're really good together. And then just I don't know if you heard the first hour conversation with Derek Carr, but he's throwing his 3-year-old in the pool for a swimming lesson as soon as he's hanging up the phone. Now, I think you could take out for the swimming lesson line if Ken Stabler, you just take his 3-year-old, throw it in the pool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a different era of Raider football.
And it kind of feels right in the NFL when the Raiders are good for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like there's balance or something. They're such an iconic team. I remember growing up and hearing the stories of the Raiders of the 70s and 80s, and then they disappeared for 2 decades almost.
Yes, they did. They did. And that's why I asked him about the Cubs winning.
Yeah.
And just seeing the fan base react to the Cubs finally breaking through. Obviously, the Raiders haven't had a century-long stretch of losing, but it feels that way to the fan base.
I was really happy for the Cubs until last night when Jimmy Kimmel bumped me to have them on.
What do you mean?
I mean just that. I got bumped for the Cubs last night.
Chris Bryant?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's all fine. Just making a joke. But
doesn't he understand that you're playing Bobby Lee Swagger and Shooter here?
I think because we're friends, he felt like there was some leeway there.
Right. So are you going to have a Matt Damon type appearance the next time where you're going to hold him hostage?
Or maybe I just won't show up.
I like it.
I like that.
That's a
Power
Philly.
move.
That's a Philly guy in you right there. Ryan Phillippe here on the Rich Eisen Show. Ask Ryan the poll question today. This will be an interesting question for Ryan here that you can download again at the app on the Apple App Store.
I hope it's not going to be named the top 5 Georgia running backs of all time.
No. That's
put TD on the spot there.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I don't know if you've heard. I'm going to break some news to you. Today's the election day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that.
I have.
Which sport would you want to vote in? Would you want to vote for the Hall of Fame, the Heisman Trophy,
of any sport Hall of Fame,
the NCAA tournament brackets, either football or basketball, or MVP in any sport?
If you could have one vote As a sports person, sports fan, what vote would you choose?
I'd probably have to say Hall of Fame because you're assessing the totality of someone's career, you know, and what their impact or merit was to the game. I think that would be mine.
Yeah, Hall of Fame would be the one that I would go for as well. But
The playoffs, though, you're affecting this year's current outcome of the sport if you have a vote in that.
I mean, but right after that would be the brackets. I would love to be somebody in the room where it happens, you know, before it all goes down in March, or obviously for the college football playoffs.
But then wouldn't you feel with the brackets that you're putting like 20 teams who don't have a chance, like on the.
But you never know, though, the Cinderella story.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's what I love about the NCAA tournament every year with hoops. But the Hall of Fame is definitely. What's the breakdown of that? right now?
65% with like a Hall of Fame vote.
Okay.
15 for MVP, 11 for the bracket, and only 9% want to vote for the Heisman Trophy.
How many fantasy leagues are you in?
I am in 2.5.
What does that mean?
Wait, a half.
I have a fantasy league with my homies from Delaware, which is where I'm from. I have one with the dads in my son's class, which is ultra competitive, and then I help my son. I guide his fantasy team. I'm working up in Canada right now on this movie, and I met a dude, an actor on set, who told me he has 8 fantasy teams.
That's insane.
I mean, how could you even? Who has the time for 8 fantasy teams?
But how do you root? Right? I mean, how do you root for? Because
I guess it's one of those throw it at the wall, see what sticks kind of thing. I don't know.
I had Andrew Luck in one league, and I went against Ty Hilton in another one, and it just drove me crazy. I couldn't handle even that one conflict right there.
I do got to say that what I love about fantasy is the sting it takes out of your actual team losing. So when the Eagles lose, but my fantasy teams win, it's a little easier to get over for some reason.
But what do you think about Doug Peterson in year one? What do you think about him?
I like him. I think there are shades of Andy Reid, but with a little bit more of a risk-taking sort of ethos. You know, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping for the best. I think he's a steady guy. I think that we needed that again after Chip. I think things got really kind of chaotic during that period, and I love that he brought in Jim Schwartz, and I think his assistant coaches are cool and doing a good job.
Yeah, the fact that LaShawn McCoy's not there anymore, not to, again, just rub the room.
It's heartbreaking, man.
Seeing him last night, just how good he is in space and how
and what he would be able to do for Carson in terms of, you know, just setting up the pass and making them have to stack the box and opening up receivers and, you know, que sera.
Que sera, sera. All right, before I let you go, tell me about Shooter. Tell me about this show on USA that debuts a week from tonight.
I'm really excited about it, man. So there are 8 books written about this character, Bob Lee Swagger. Mark Wahlberg starred in the movie version of what will be our first season, which is the first book in the series. And we're planning on doing subsequent books as we get renewed. But I play a former Marine sniper who is set up for an assassination attempt and then has to prove his innocence over the course of the season. But one of the really cool things about it is Bob Lee's not a superhero, but at the same time, being forced back into this sort of semi-combat fight for your life situation, you see all of his special ops skills sort of reawakened. Because I'm playing a MARSOC sniper, and these guys they're taught field medicine. You know, they take immersive language classes. Their skill sets are absolutely incredible, and so you see this character come back into those abilities. And so in that way, it's kind of like an origin story in a fun way.
That's awesome, man. And Omar Epps is in it. He's a heck of a cast with you in it as well. Love having you stop by here.
Absolutely.
Come back when you're not even just promoting anything.
Yeah, just hang out and talk sports.
Excellent. Let's do that. And Ryan Phillippe here. It's a USA Network Shooter debuting a week from tonight at 10 Eastern time, every Tuesday, 10 Eastern on USA. And I feel like a game show host. Thanks for coming on. Show him what he's won, everybody. It's an elite team blanket. Take a look at the television screen. I'll describe it for the radio audience. It's a Philadelphia Eagles blanket.
Wow.
That's yours to keep.
Wow, that's so cool.
There you go. And it's awesome, by the way. You feel it just touching it. You can tell it's different than any other blanket that's out there on the market. 44% bigger than anything that's out there. It's 2 pieces of fabric sewn together, and it's made in the United States of America. 10% off at Elite. Shop EliteTeam.com. It's the blanket of pure fandemonium. EliteTeam.com. Save 10% when you go to and drop the promo code RICH. Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Absolutely, man.
That's yours to keep.
I'm going to wear it as a cape on the rest of my press.
Outstanding. Outstanding. It'll work. Back with your phone calls in 60 ticks of the clock. We will also discuss some snubs that's out there. I can't believe they left one particular pitcher off of the ballot, it seems, for American League MVP or probably American League Cy Young. I don't even know what happened there. We're back with your phone calls as well in 60 ticks of the clock here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.